You have the ability to
Okay, sorry. 15th of February, Rabbi Furst, Pirkei Avos.
anguish. Tsuke is anguish. So
Okay.
distress and anguish.
Times of distress and anguish. Okay. Okay. The Hain, Meforshin Binyan, and they explain this concept by Hibime Amrafal. Oh, and that's from Breshit. Okay, I forget who Amrafal was, but
That was the time of the fight, the milchama, the battle again of the war against the four kings against the five kings. When Avram Avinu
ah,
went into battle, right?
okay, so there was Amrafal. Okay. Vayhi Achaz. Okay, so there was Achaz. Vayhi Yehoyakim.
Yoakum, right?
Oh, Yehoyakam. Okay, I have a yud after the kuf. Okay, that's from Yirmiyahu. Vayhi Shafot Hashoftim. Oh, from Ruth. Okay. Um,
Vihi v'yimei Achashverosh. And also in the time of it. So
right,
you have these five examples where it's a time of distress and anguish. Now there are a lot of you should know there are a lot of times Vayihi comes up, right? Right in the beginning of Bereshis, Vayihi or Vayi Koshech, right?
right, right.
When we open the Aaron,
Excuse me,
when we open the Aaron, they heave inside.
I didn't hear you, Roy. Say that again, please.
When we open the Aaron,
Yeah.
Right,
so
right,
So
exactly.
you have to stand up. That's distress.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it probably
So
doesn't always mean a time of distress, but maybe most of the time.
yeah, so we have to know when this applies. Even Simcha, the Simcha Gadol, because of the measure saying when you see Vayi, right, it's either going to be Simcha Gadol or Tsar Gadol. But we see there are many times other than that that the expression Vayi is used. So okay, we have to understand what Chazal mean here. Maybe we will. Let's see if he explains. Let's go ahead.
Okay, so let me go on.
All right, so it explains a little bit. Vayi b'me'achas.
Okay, so hold it. Oh, no, I thought we're up to Ra'iti. Hold on 1 second. Okay. And then it says, Ra'iti et ha'aretz v'hinei tohu uvohu. Oh, that's what Roy was saying, I think.
I was
I saw the land and it was empty and void. That's from Yirmiyahu, though, not from Breshit.
Right.
Okay, the Kevan, Shemalach Achashverosh, Hitchilu, excuse me, Hitchilu, Hakol, Tzvachon, Tzavachin, Avoy Vavoy. Okay, so what's that? Since Achashverosh ruled, he began,
What
or they began, all
since
began.
right since uh Achashverosh took rule, Hathilu Hakol Tzavachim Vai Oy Vai. Everyone began to scream out Oy Vai.
Oh, so everyone's screw. Oh, that's okay.
Yisrael Tzvachim
Israel,
Vai. Yisrael, the
Tzvachon.
Jews were screaming out Vai. Why? Mishum
Mishum diktiv במלכות אחשוורוש לחילת מלכותו כתבו שתנה על יושבי יהודים וירושלים. Okay, because
Tana, but with the beginning of Achashverosh's rule, Kosvu, they wrote, Shetana al Yoshvei Yehuda v'Yushalayim. That's a pasuk in Ezra. Maybe it's worthwhile we take a look at that pasuk in Ezra 1 second. Let's see if this is what's going. What's going?
no, I don't have an Ezra here.
Ezra. Pasuk in Ezra and Daled Vav. Malchus Akash, it says here, this is the quote, right? Malchus Akashveros Ketchilas Malchusoi Kasu Sitna Al Yoshvei Yehuda Ushalayim. So now what's that supposed to mean? Let's see what do the commentaries say about this. Rashi says Malchus Achashverosh Shemalach Acher Korush. Achashverosh was the king after Korush. Who Achashverosh Shalokach Esther. This is the Achashverosh who took Esther. Okay. Kasev Sitna Shalo Livnos Beis Hamikdash. Achashverosh issued an order with the rise of Achashverosh to the throne. He put halt to the beginning of the rebuilding of the Beis Hamikdash. Va'al Yoshvei Yehuda v'Yushalayim shalinim lignosam shelo yivna Beis Hamikdash. That he commanded that they refrain, that they cease building the Beis Hamikdash.
Oh.
So you see, from the very beginning, he was a very big rusher. He was, and that was the whole point. The whole point was that Klal Yisrael represented a threat to his kingdom, right? He was ruling throughout the whole of the world, right? He ruled the 127 Medinas, right? And now, right under his nose, the Jews had begun rebuilding the Beis Hamikdash. That was with the permission of Koresh, if I'm not mistaken. Koresh, his predecessor, had allowed the beginning of the rebuilding of the Beis Hamikdash. And Achashverosh and his throne. And that's in terms of, if you look at just from a straight political point of view. But if you look at it from a spiritual point of view, from Ruchni, Achashverosh represented the kochas of Tuma, and Klal Yisrael represented the kochas, the powers of Kedusha. And so the kochas of Tuma could not allow that the powers of Kedusha, of holiness, of purity, would begin to now take a foothold, regain the Beis Hamikdash in Yerushalayim. That would be a complete, absolute threat to the powers of Tuma. So he was at the very onset, his whole strategy and plan was to eliminate any Kedusha from the world. And building Beis Hamikdash represented the reinstatement of Kedusha in the world after the 70 years of Gullus. Okay, let's continue on.
Okay, so it says Haumot Tzvahin Voy Mishum Diktiv Vayasem HaMelech HaChashverosh Mas Al Haaretz Ve'i Hayam. And that was, let's see.
This is the very one of the very last psukim in Esther, right?
Hashverosh put taxes on both the land and the islands of the sea, I guess.
Right. I mean, those so that people were not happy. Even the general public was not happy with Achashverosh. He's putting taxes upon them.
Right,
So the Jews weren't happy because he stopped the building of the base of Mikdash, and the Goyim weren't happy because he was raising their taxes.
right. Huh.
So he was unpopular from the very beginning to the very end.
That is correct. Wow. Okay, so let's see. So that's Esther. You 10. The next line says, okay. Achashverosh Amar Rav Achiv Shel Rosh Uven Gilo Shel Rosh Achiv Shel Rosh Ze B'Nechu Vadnetzer.
Shinikra Rosh. And he's called Rosh.
Oh, that's in parentheses, right? Okay. So let's see. So Achashverosh said, Rav Achiv, many of his brothers of the government, many of the people of the government.
No, I'm a Rav Achashverosh. So that name Achashverosh, I'm a Rav. What does the word Achashverosh mean? The word Achashverosh means Achiv Shel Rosh. He was the brother of the Rosh, of the head. Ben Gilo Shel Rosh. He was similar in nature to the Rosh. Achiv Shel Rosh. He's the brother of the Rosh. Who's that? He was the brother of Nebuchadnezzar.
Oh, okay. Nebuchadnezzar.
So we have to understand what is that? What does that mean? The brother of what does that mean? The brother of Nebuchadnezzar. So we'll have to try and find out about that.
Well, does go on, but maybe that's a different quote. The brother of Nebuchadnezzar. Wow.
What line is it on, please?
Yeah, he's looking up some source or
Yeah.
about the brother of Nebuchadnezzar.
Continue on.
Okay, so it says Shneimar Bo Anathu Resha Didahava. Oh, that's from Daniel.
Oh,
Let's see, Daniel 2:38. Let's see what that is. Daniel 2:38. Okay, 1 second. Daniel 2:38 says, and wherever people, wild beasts, and birds of the sky dwell, he has subjugated them to you and made you ruler over all of them. You are the head of gold. I wonder how that relates to this, though. Okay, not sure, but
So that's the
he's going to interpret some of this, I guess.
right, Rosh Hashanah. That's, I think, a reference to Achashverosh. That Achashverosh, he's the Achiv Shel Rosh, and how do we know? And that's Nebuchadnezzar. And how do we know Nebuchadnezzar is considered the Rosh? Based on that pasuk of Rosh Didahava, and that's based on the pasuk in Daniel. Okay, that's that pasuk in Daniel is coming to give a proof that Nebuchadnezzar is considered Rosh.
Oh, okay. It doesn't really mention his name directly, but I see. Okay.
It's a reference to him, sure.
Okay, very good. So let's go on. Shel Rosh, Uvengilu Shel Rosh, Achiv Shel Rosh. Oh, we did that. I'm sorry. Shneimar Bo Anat Hu, Resha, Rasha, the Hava, and that's also from Daniel. Well, you just read that, I thought. Daniel bet Lamed Chet. Okay. Uven Gilo Shorosh Nebuchadnezzar Hechriv Beit Hamikdash. Oh, okay. So he Nebuchadnezzar, I guess, commanded the destruction of the temple, the Beit Hamikdash.
Right. There's a Gemara in Megillah that also is related to this. That Nebuchadnezzar is his Achiv Shel Rosh, Achiv Shel Nebuchadnezzar Harusha. Nebuchadnezzar is called Rosh. That the Medrash also speaks out that Nebuchadnezzar was a Rosh Hamarchivim. He was the head. He was the head of those who destroy. He's of all those people who destroyed things in the world, Nebuchadnezzar was the leader of those. He was the one who destroyed the Beis Hamikdash. So he's considered the prime. He's the prototype of all those who.
Okay. Excuse me. Vizeh bitel avodat beit Eloha. Is that the temple of Hashem? He
Beis Elokah, right.
okay. He nullified the worship in the temple. Okay. Ushmuel Amar Shacharu Penehem Shel Yisrael B'Yemei Kishulei Kedira. Shmuel said that they darkened the faces of Israel.
That he Nebuchadnezzar darkened the faces of the Jews in Biyamah in his days. Kishuli Keder, like the bottom of a pot.
Oh. Okay, 1 second. It's interesting. Okay, good. Bottom of a pot. Okay. Who Achashverosh Kol Mekom Sheneamar Hu Im Tzadik Hu Mitchilato Bi'ad Sofo. So what? Every place it says he, I guess.
Who? Yeah, every time who Achashverosh. Every time it says the word who. Right.
Okay. So Im Tzaddik, if he's a tzaddik, it's from the beginning until the end. Oh, okay. I think we saw this before. And if he's if Im Rasha, he mitchilo ad sofa. And if he's a evil person, it's from the beginning till the end. Hu Achashverosh b'tchila malchuto katvu shitana al Yoshvei Yehudim v'Yushalayim. Okay, so let's see. So it is Achashverosh from the beginning of his kingdom. It wrote Shitana. What's that?
That was we had that before. That was the pasuk original pasuk
Right,
there from Ezra, if you remember. Right.
Right. Oh yeah, I see it now. Katvu Shnata al Yoshvei Yehudim v'Yushalayim. Okay, so I forgot which Shnata was.
Right. So at the very Achashverosh, he was a Russia from the very beginning to the very end, through and through. Don't think that whatever you're going to see and learn about in the Megillah, that Achashverosh was so kind to Esther and to Mordecai, don't think it's true. He was a Russia from the very beginning to the very end. Kilas Malchusa Kasas Sitna Al Yoshvi Yehuda Yerushalayim. In the beginning of his role, he wrote the desist order that stopped the building of the Beis Hamikdash. B'Soif Malchusa, what did he do at the end?
Okay, so Ubisof Malchuto Katvu Lahashmi Laharog et Kol HaYehudim. Okay, so
Right. And at the end, he wrote the annihilation order that the whole Misa of Purim is based upon.
How do we know he didn't
Okay.
do tshuva?
What?
How do we know he didn't do tshuva?
That's what this medrash is telling you. He didn't do tshuva.
But why did he give Esther and Mordecai so much power and help them to win the battle?
That was because Kadosh Baruch was controlling things, but he it was all against his will. When Esther, we'll see. 1 second, I'll tell you where to refer to that. In
that's
when
interesting.
Esther went to to I think it's in Pierke. In Pierke, um, 1 second. Ba, 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 ba. Let's see. Okay, I think it's Perik Vav. Let's see, Perik Vav. Um, it's
That was what he asked for the request for from Esther, I guess.
yeah. 1 second. Oh, yeah. If you look in, it's actually Perik Zion Pasuk Hey. Take a look in your Megillah Pasuk Zion, Perik Zion Pasuk Hey.
That's okay. Okay. So it says, let's see. Thereupon King Ahasuerus exclaimed and said to Queen Esther, "Who is it? Where is the one who dared to do this?" And Esther
Oh,
said, okay.
so the Medrash, if you look, maybe we'll get to it when Ahasuerus asked Esther, right? Who's this that's doing all these things? So Esther was about to point her finger and point her finger at Ahasuerus and said, "You're the one.
Yeah.
You're the one." But the Amalek came. Amalek came and turned her hand and turned her mouth and said, "It's Haman that's doing it." But she was really going to indict Ahasuerus himself.
Okay, but then he could have done tshuva at that point when he realized what was going on.
No true, no true. Who Ahasuerus tequila ad sof. Medrash says he was a Russia from the very beginning to the very end.
Hmm.
But I'm trying to understand that midrash. Doesn't make sense to me. If a person does you a good deed, you owe them a debt of gratitude.
What did who owes him? Who owes Ahasuerus owes just Esther something?
No, Esther owes him something. He could have just said, "Look, the decree has been issued. Nothing I can do. My hands are tied."
Hmm. So you're
It's
saying that
here, and it says here in the ninth parak. You take a look at the ninth parak. One second. The ninth parak, pasuk Yud Gimel.
Yud Gimel. Okay, let's see. Yud Gimel says, Esther replied, if it pleases His Majesty, allow the Jews who are in Shushan to act tomorrow as they did today, and let Haman's 10 sons be hanged on the gallows.
So here,
So that was after the battle, after the Jews got rid of the
that was the
Haman.
first. That was the first day's battle. The first day's battle on Yud Gimel, right? So, so after the first day's battle, Esther comes in, and here she's asking for another day. They didn't have enough in Shushan. They didn't have enough time to kill out all the enemies in Shushan, because that's where they were all located. Most of the enemies of the Jews were located in Shushan, so they needed another day to kill out all the all the other days. So she said, well, let's have another day. So the Medrash explains, because the Medrash explains that this was this, and the Alta from Kelm explains this that Achashverosh allowed them, the Jews, to have another day of battle there right underneath his known in Shushan. This was the biggest nace of all the nisim of Megillas Esther, that Achashverosh would allow the Jews to have another day of battle to eliminate all his these were, you have to understand, these people that were being killed were his cohorts, right? And here he's allowing them to be killed out. So this was the biggest nace. Without a nace, this never would have happened. He was a Russia from the very beginning. He was not doing any tshuva. Hey, let's continue on.
Okay. Okay. So we're in the next paragraph then. Hold it. I'm lost a little.
Right, we're down at the bottom, second paragraph.
Okay. So it says, Hamolech mehodu ve'ad Kush. Okay. So he ruled from Hodu until Kush. Rav u'Shmuel nachluku b'zeh hadavar. Oh, so there's a machloket between Rav and Shmuel about this. Let's see. Chad Amar, Hodu b'sof ha'olam, v'kush b'sof ha'olam. So one said that Hodu is at the end of the world and Kush is at the end of the world.
Right, at the other end of the world.
Oh, the other end. Okay. Chad Amar, Hodu b'kush v'hadei hadidei havei yamei. I'm not sure what that is.
That Kush, Hodav Kush, Bahadi Adai, they were Hayukami. They were right next to each other.
Oh. Okay. Kashain shemalach alehem kain melech akol haolam. Okay, so as it said that he ruled over them, Cain, so he was the king over all the world.
Right, so you have two perspectives here. You have Rob's perspective and you have Shmuel's perspective.
Mhm.
One perspective is that Achashverosh ruled from one end of the world to the other end of the world, meaning he ruled over the whole world entirely. The other perspective is that just as he was ruling over Kush, Hodu, which were adjacent to one another, be close to one another, likewise, everything he ruled over throughout the whole world, he was ruling over them as well, with such strength over them as if they were very there close by to him.
Wow. Okay, let's see. V'heyach ata Mikayem davar shnehem. Elakach perush hadavar biyachad chaim she'omdim. It keeps going. Ela ka'adam hayotze mehodu v'holech lemizrach el kush. It's a good place to stop, I guess.
So the what's the how do you understand both of these things together? Eik ata mekayim divrishnem. How do you understand both of these things together? Ella kach perush hadover. This is the explanation of the thing. Biyakad heinu omdim. They're both existing together. What does that mean? Ella k'sha'adam yotzi mahodu v'holakim lemizrach el kush. Just like if a person would go out from Hodu and he would go east, he would reach Kush. Holech v'soyviv el dorom ad shechozer l'Hodu etzel Kush. If he'll go around to the south until he would circumvent the whole globe, he would return to Hodu, which is by Kush.
Oh.
Malamed, so they're both coming to teach us the same thing, basically.
Okay, so Milamed shall call hayat tachat mem shalatav. So what all teach Milamed, it teaches that all was under his government, I guess.
Everything under his control, exactly right.
Right. Sheva v'esrim umea medina. 127 states, provinces. Okay. Let's see. Usara Amnu.
With Sarah, if you remember the wife of Abraham Avinu, Sarah.
Oh, Visara. Oh, Imenu. Oh, okay. Kativ. Oh, Mea Shana ve'esrim Shana ve'sheva shanim. That's how long she lived. 127 years. Wow. Elu zeh inyano. Let's see. Bat kuf katav kaf uvat kaf uvat zayin. Okay, so what it wrote 100, then it wrote 20, and then it wrote, and after 20, it wrote, I guess, 7. It separated the years. Okay.
Right.
V'harei kativ u'shnei chayai amram sheva u'shloshim u'mea shana. And it says that the life of Amram was 7 and 30 and 100 years, 137 years. Okay. Aval Khan and Morav
Rav Chisda.
Rav Chisda, B'tchila Melech al Sheva Uvisof al Esrim Uvisof al Mea. So what's he began? The beginning of his rule was 7, and in the end 20, and in that, and the end of that 100. So that was 100.
Right. The Medrash here is really asking a question. We should have this question as well. Here the pasuk says, "V'yemei Achashverosh hu Achashverosh hamoylech mehoduad kush sheva ve'esrim umea medina." 7 and 20 and 100 medina. So, but when you look at Sarah doesn't say that. It says the order of the numeration is different. If you look by Sarah, as it says, as it quotes for you, right? So Me'er Shana ve'esrim Shana ve'sheva Shanim starts with the larger number, the Maya, and then it goes to Esrim, and then it goes to Sheva.
Uh,
And also by Amram, it says, right? Sheva v'shloshim umeyashan. It's also reversed, right?
right.
So Avokan, so what's the change in the order of the numeration over here? So if this is telling you why is it changed here, it starts off with a smaller number and moves to the middle number, then to the final larger number. To tell you that in the beginning, Achashverosh started ruling over 7 Medinas. And then intermediately, he started ruling over 20 kingdoms. And in the end, he was over 100. Now, so let me ask you a question. According to Rav Chizda, what was the total of the Medinas that he ruled over?
I don't.
What do you say, Eliezer Tzvi? What do you say?
I would say 100.
What's the total according to Rav Chizda?
I'll look at this again. Hold on.
No, it's two. Seven.
My vote is 100.
Okay, that's one vote for
Or
100.
It sounds like first he ruled over 7, then over 20, and then finally 100.
Right, so the total would be 100, right?
Right, that's what it sounds like
Mm-hmm.
to me.
I agree with Meir.
Right. So, okay. Well, I'll tell you that's something to think about. Maybe that's a good point to stop. Look, you have time between now and Yom Rishon. You can ask a couple of people when you're in shul on tomorrow on Shabbos. Take out a Megillah and ask him, hey, how many did you rule over? Was it 100, 120, 127?
Hmm.
Okay, so maybe we'll get an answer by Yom Rishon.
Yom Rishon. Okay, very good.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Good,
Very
Mitzvah Shem. Hope to see you tomorrow if you want to join us 9:30 for Chumash. And